The water closed over Tunde's head. Cold, dark water pressed in all around. No one saw him slip. No one reached out. Adaese's cry rang out, sharp and broken. Panic froze the crowd at the pond. Tunde's small gasps grew faint. Hearts pounded, feet shuffled. Then, cutting through the silent fear, one figure stood. Uche, the man no one noticed. His eyes were calm, his steps steady. He dropped his old bag, tore off his shoes, and ran. He dove toward the life slipping away. He would not let Tunde go under. The pond looked quiet and safe, but Tunde had slipped from Adaese's hand. One moment he laughed by the edge, the next he was under cold water. His little arms flailed up and down. Bubbles rose like sad drops of rain. The crowd froze in shock. Some covered their mouths. Others stepped back, afraid to jump in. Adaese fell to her knees, her face wet with tears. She called his name, voice shaken. Every heart in the park ached. Time slowed. The baby's life hung by a single breath. Fear and hope battled in every chest. Uche sat on an old wooden bench near the pond. His coat was full of patches. His shoes were worn thin. His bag was tied tight with string. People walked past him without a glance. Some called him that quiet man. Children whispered he was odd. Adults ignored him. Yet Uche watched everything. He saw the way the sun shimmered on the water. He saw Tunde slip under. His heart jolted. He stood up without hesitation. His old shoes tapped on the stone path. No one spoke to him. No one moved. Until he did. It was a hot afternoon. The sun made the pond sparkle. Children flew kites and chased butterflies. Mothers sat on benches chatting softly. Fathers played cards under a tree. Laughter filled the air. A gentle breeze carried the sound of singing birds. No one thought of danger. Then a scream cut through the calm. Heads turned. Faces grew pale. The world slowed to a standstill. Phones popped out of pockets. Adaese ran toward the water's edge. Her sandals slapped on the ground. The games stopped. Smiles vanished. In one terrible moment, joy turned to fear. Adaese's voice rang out, sharp and full of dread. "Tunde! Tunde!" she cried, racing to the edge of the pond. Her hair flew in her face. Tears marked tracks on her cheeks. She reached out, but the water was too deep. Bystanders gasped and stared. Some whispered prayers. No one dared to dive in. Little ripples betrayed the baby's struggle. Every second stretched like an hour. Adaese fell to her knees, pressing her hands to her lips. The pond was cruelly quiet again. Only one man moved. One man who knew what to do. Uche saw Tunde's tiny hand vanish under the surface. His heart pounded loud in his chest. He left his bag on the bench. He pulled off his coat and shoes in one swift move. Without looking back, he ran to the water. He plunged in, clothes and all. Cold water bit at his skin, but he didn't stop. He kicked hard, arms cutting through the dark pond. He found Tunde beneath the ripples. He gripped the wet fabric of the baby's shirt and hauled him up. Water flew in every direction. Uche broke the surface, holding life in his arms. For a breath, no one moved. Then Tunde coughed and wailed. A single clap broke the hush. Then another clap. Soon the banks rang with cheers. Mothers wiped tears. Fathers patted each other's backs. Children jumped and pointed. Adaese scooped Tunde into her arms, rocking him close. She sobbed with relief. Uche waded to the shore and sat on the grass, soaked to the bone. People shouted, "Thank you," but spoke mostly to each other. Few spoke to Uche. Few knelt by him. The applause faded, and the crowd drifted away, eager to return to their warm, safe afternoon. The park grew quiet again. Adaeze held Tunde tight, whispering words of love. Friends hugged her and helped her up. Children ran back to their games. Laughter tiptoed back into the air. The memory of fear faded in the sun. But Uche sat alone on the grass, shivering in his wet clothes. No one offered him a towel. No one asked if he was cold. He wiped water from his face and put on his coat, lacing his shoes with care. He watched Adaeze leave, Tunde safe in her arms. Then he stood and walked away into the busy streets. Uche moved through the crowded market. His coat still damp, he hugged it tight. His mind replayed the rescue over and over. His heart felt full, yet he was still alone. He reached the corner where he slept at night. A cardboard box behind a shop. A thin blanket. His bed. He found a piece of bread someone had left. He ate slowly, savoring each bite. Life was hard every day, but saving Tunde made him feel strong. He closed his eyes, listening to car horns and distant chatter. No one knew his name. No one cared where he slept. Ngozi, a teenager, had filmed the rescue on her phone. She stood hidden behind a tree, hands shaking. She caught Uche's dive, and the moment he grasped Tunde, she tapped share and sent the video to her friends. Within minutes, it spread across apps and pages. "Homeless man saves baby," read the captions. Ngozi smiled quietly, proud to share what happened. Then she slipped away before anyone noticed her. She did not know Uche's real name. She only knew she had seen a hero. That night, she watched the views climb higher and higher. By sunrise, Ngozi's video had 3 million views. News sites picked it up. Social media buzzed with praise. "Real hero," wrote strangers. "This man deserves thanks," commented many. Some started fun pages saying, "Let's help him." Yet no one knew Uche's name or where to find him. Reporters called shelters, soup kitchens, and street vendors. They asked every passerby. But Uche had vanished. He slipped through the city like a silent shadow. Still, the story did not fade. It grew bigger. Everyone wanted to find the man who saved Tunde. Reporters searched day and night. They scoured every corner of the city. Shelters and churches rang with their calls. "Have you seen this man?" they asked. Adaeze spoke on TV, voice full of hope. "Please help us find him," she said. Friends and neighbors joined the search, but Uche stayed hidden. He walked past bridges and through narrow alleys. He rested in the shelter for a night, then moved on. He did not want fame or reward. He only wanted to stay free. Yet every search made him more determined to keep living quietly. 10 years passed. The city grew taller and busier. New parks popped up. The old pond was cleaned and painted. But the story of Uche's leap never died online. One morning, a sleek black car rolled up to the same pond. A tall man in a sharp suit stepped out. In his hand was a worn photo of Uche's face from the old video. He paused by the bench where Uche once sat. He smiled, his eyes bright with memory. Then he tightened his tie and walked away, ready to keep a promise he made long ago. The tall man was Tunde, now grown and strong. He ran a tech firm worth 1 billion naira. He never forgot his first breath on dry land. He never forgot the man who dove for him. Tunde hired investigators and launched a citywide search. Find Uche, my hero. He spoke on news channels and in print, offering a reward. He visited shelters and soup kitchens, asking each worker, "Have you seen this man?" Friends called him obsessed, but he only nodded. "He saved my life," Tunde said. "I owe him everything." Tunde's plea reached every corner of the city. Flyers with Uche's face went up on walls and poles. Posts flooded social media. Volunteers joined the hunt. "Let's find him," they chanted. Tips poured in. Some led nowhere. Some said, "I saw an old man near the market." Others, "He sleeps by the river." Tunde followed each clue. He drove through late nights and early dawns. He asked every street vendor and cleaner. Hope stayed alive in his chest. The city watched, ready to cheer. And though it took weeks, Tunde never lost faith. One morning, a call came from a small church named Grace of Hope. Sister Neka, who ran the hall, answered. "He's here," she said softly. "Uche cleans our floors." Tunde raced to the church. In the basement, Uche swept the floor by empty pews. His back bent, shoulders steady. He hummed a soft tune while he worked. He did not know anyone was looking for him. He only did his job. Then he felt eyes on him. He stepped back. The broom paused. He looked up and saw Tunde standing there, photo in hand. Tunde stepped forward, voice gentle. "Uche?" he asked, holding the old photo. Uche froze, eyes wide. He dropped the broom. Tunde knelt and held out the picture. "You saved my life," Tunde said, voice breaking. Uche swallowed hard. He shook his head. "I just did what I had to," he whispered. Tunde smiled through tears. "You gave me life. Let me give back to you." He helped Uche to his feet. Sister Neka snapped a photo of their reunion. It spread online in minutes. Proof that true heroes exist in every hidden corner. Tunde led Uche outside to a shiny car. He handed him a small velvet box. Inside lay a golden key. "This is the key to your new home?" Tunde said. Uche's hand trembled as he touched it. Then Tunde handed him thick envelopes of papers. Uche now owned a share of Tunde's tech company worth $1 billion. Gasps and cheers rose from onlookers. Uche's eyes filled with tears. He never dreamed of money or fame. He only dreamed of a warm bed and full meals. Now he had both, and a chance to live with peace. News cameras flashed and phones buzzed. Uche stood beside Tunde, holding his hand. Reporters asked questions. Tunde spoke of Uche's brave heart. Uche only smiled, eyes shining. He did not seek praise. He only cared that Tunde was safe. Then Tunde turned to Uche and asked, "Will you join me to help others in need?" Uche nodded, tears in his eyes. The crowd cheered. What will you do if someone needs your help? If you love this story, please subscribe and comment below.